to do at She Writes Press is to publish a lot of memoir. Memoir, for a lot of you know, is my true love, and so the next author is a memoirist, and there's a lot of memoirs that come our way that just matter. You know, they really matter, and they're people need these stories. And I always say that there's two kinds of memoirists: the ones that write because they just can't not write, and then those who write because they really have this true desire to help others. And this second one falls into that category, although you might feel the first. I think it's truly a helpful book to other people on the topic of caregiving and a relationship with a difficult mother. And I'll let Virginia tell you more, but Virginia A.Simpson is a bereavement care specialist and executive counseling director for hundreds of funeral homes throughout the United States and Canada. She is the founder of the Morningstar Center for Grieving Children and Their Families, which she ran from 1995 to 2005, and the author of her memoir, The Space Between, about her journey caring for her ailing mother. Virginia has appeared on numerous television and radio programs. She holds a fellowship in thanatology from the Association of Death and Education Counseling, and has been honored for her work by the cities of Indian Wells, Palm Desert, Palm Springs, and Rancho Mirage. She lives in El Dorado Hills with her husband, Bob, and her golden retriever, Shelby. Do you want me to pass it? Then you can actually turn the page.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Is the mic working? Okay. All right, I have a question for you. Who here has a mother or ever had a mother? Okay. So you know that even under the best of circumstances, it's a challenging relationship. And certainly it was no different with my mother and myself. I have used the container of the 6 years my mother lived with me after a life-threatening illness necessitated she could no longer live alone through the end of her life when I was her caretaker to tell the story of our relationship. And this is where it starts. This is quote first. It seems to me the best way we can manage the complexities about mother is not to remain in judgment of our mothers, no matter how hard that is. If we can find a way to stand in her shoes and to learn who she was before she was a mother, we may find ourselves seeing her as a whole person, someone who had her own life, her own struggles and problems to solve. Linda Joy Myers, May 11, 2014. Sunday, July 4, 1999. My mother drives me crazy. She can send me from love to exasperation faster than my Uncle Henry's Jaguar race car could go from 0 to 60. I'm almost 50 years old, and you'd think by now she couldn't exert this level of power over me. Mom, you can't just think about it. You have to call your doctor. A possible blood clot in your leg is nothing to mess around with. Silence. Part of me wants to hang up the phone, pack my little girl red and black plaid plastic suitcase, and run away to oblivion. I don't run. I stay because she's my mother and she needs me. Well, it turned out by the time we got her to the hospital, she had the largest blood clot anybody had ever seen. And I was forced to make the decision for her that she would do a procedure that was her only chance to live, but could kill her instantaneously. So this is the day the procedure is going to happen. And I start with this quote. All women become their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That is his. Thursday. Inside the hospital, it's cool, the air laced with acrid smells of medical chemicals and cleaning fluids. Someone always seems to be mopping a floor. Food carts squeak as they are pushed down the halls, and people on their way to rooms make noise. But I focus all my attention on the soft sound of my mother's breath as she sleeps. The change in Mom's arm since yesterday is a shock. The mottled bruises have spread and congealed into the appearance of midnight blue or eggplant purple opera gloves that span the length of her arms. Outside, it's a warm July afternoon, and life goes on. People stroll the blocks of Westwood Village, innocent of the dramas and traumas that go on inside this hospital. Those lucky people walk the streets of my youth and happy memories. I've loved Westwood Village my whole life. When we were young, Mom and I would wander those same streets, look into windows, sometimes go inside and buy something, and always stop for lunch. In my 20s and early 30s, I'd come to Westwood to attend classes at UCLA, visit my therapist, go to the Bruiner Village to catch a movie, shop at Bullock's, or meet friends at Café Moustache, where I'd always eat a spinach crepe and chocolate souffle. But today, there are no strolls, shopping, lunches, movies, classes, or therapy. Today, I'm inside this hospital, a place where nothing seems to happen, while the most profound aspects of life occur at every moment. I've been at Mom's side since 10 this morning, both of us in loud silence, not talking about the procedure scheduled for 4 p.m. When it's time, 2 young men wrap a sheet around Mom and lift her out of the bed with as little effort as it would take to elevate a feather. Their movements are slow and meticulous. With gentle care, they place Mom on the slender steel gurney. I study their every move from my vantage point on the opposite side of the bed, as though my attention will assure they won't drop her. Mom seems teeny, small as a child. This is a seismic shift in our relationship. Me, the adult, her, the child. And she did survive, and she came to live with me. And what happened is, before she came to live with me, I thought we'd worked out all of our issues, but they showed up on my doorstep, big time. And not only did we have to work through old issues, we had to work through the new ones that were arising. And it was very complex because I was on a race against time to heal our relationship before she died. So in writing this book, because of my background in the field of death, dying, and bereavement, I put it down on the page, what it's like to really be a caregiver, how difficult it is, the true emotions somebody will feel, while also providing information that I hope will help everybody if they find themselves in this position. My book offers hope that even though most contentious relationship could be healed, because by the end of my mother's life, the only space between us was filled with love. Thank you.